It's Travel Michigan. I'm Dave Lorenz, and we are headed up to the UP to find out about a very neat event that's popping up there pretty soon. It's been going for quite a while, and it's coming back again this winter. Let's introduce you to Chris Levine. He is Executive Director of the Tourism Association of Dickinson County. Chris, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
So, you were kind enough, I think it's been a couple of years ago now, to take me around Iron Mountain several years ago to kind of show me some of the neat things in the Iron Mountain area. One place that we went to, I have never forgotten, never will, in fact, that is the Pine Mountain ski jump area. And the reason I remember it so well is that it scared the living dickens out of me even to think about, let alone jumping off that thing, just climbing up the ladder to get to this ski jump. And we get to find out about a big event coming there very soon.
Yes, yeah. The 75th anniversary of the first Pine Mountain Ski Jump Tournament will be held on Friday, February 7th through Sunday, February 9th.
Just a week away, and this is a pretty cool ski jump. Is this like, I don't know what the stat is it like the tallest ski jump in the U.S. or something like that?
It was at one time considered the highest artificial ski jump, and in the world, and if you kind of would watch any ski jumping competitions, a lot of times what you'll see is the jump is actually built alongside of the hill or the mountain
right,
where they're having the tournament. Where this one is basically almost a 10-story building from the ground to the top of the jump.
Well, you say building, and that would seem to indicate that there's like walls, and that's not the case here. It's kind of like, if you were to describe it, I would think of it as like iron girders that are stacked up for, 10 stories high or so.
Exactly. Kind of like a bridge.
Kind of like a bridge. And then you climb up this ladder. There's no elevator.
Correct.
You climb up this ladder, presumably carrying your skis.
Yes.
You go to the very top, and then you still have to go down this huge ramp. You jump off the end, and then you end up down the mountain later on. I've never seen anybody jump, but my opportunity is coming soon.
Yes, yeah, actually, well, we could probably fit you with some skis if you'd like that as well.
Yeah, that would be something.
Yes.
So this has been around for like 75 years. Have they ever had any kind of interesting experiences there?
Well, there's lots of interesting experiences there. Like you said, this is the 75th anniversary of the tournament. Back in the 30s, there was quite a few ski jumping hills in our area, and they needed a bigger hill, another hill, and somebody had found this spot. And what it ended up being was a WPA project.
Oh, really?
And it was helped out by the county park association, and then it eventually turned into a nonprofit group. And the Kiwanis Ski Club was the original host, and they have done it for 75 years, and it's the only ski jumping tournament in North America that's been running this long.
Well, and we should explain a little bit about where Pine Mountain is. It's in Iron Mountain, and it is a ski hill, right?
Well, the Pine Mountain Resort is next to the ski jump, and it is a separate Pine Mountain Ski Jump, or Pine Mountain Resort is a privately owned ski resort, with the hotel and restaurant and all that. Mm-hmm. That where the ski jump is, it's actually county property, which the ski club leases and runs the tournament on.
And do people actually? Does this club jump that thing like on a regular basis?
Just for this tournament. So
okay.
It's basically just used this week.
Wow.
They do have some smaller hills on the side where they'll run for the kids, and we've had some different junior tournaments here over the years, but for the big tournament, it's just this once a year. So
it's such a big structure. I would presume that only like professionals or semi-pros would even attempt such a jump.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
It's interesting, some of the phone calls people call where they can sign up, and I think once you actually see somebody do this, where you can. The nice thing about this event is you can walk the steps of the landing and stand pretty much right alongside the ski jump and watch them come off.
And see the agony of defeat sometimes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, and it's interesting, having lived here almost my whole life and watching a lot of ski jumping tournaments, you rarely see people fall nowadays. The ski jumping has gone from where the skis were close together, where they do the the V formation now.
Right.
And that V formation keeps them much safer. They have a lot more control, and it's interesting. You can watch, if you stand alongside the jump, you can watch. They move their hands, and it just by moving their hands, they can kind of control a little bit where they're
kind of like wings.
Pretty neat.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Well, and during this Olympics winter year, this might be the perfect time to go up and see it, in person this coming week to see what it's like really close. You've had teams from all over the world participate in this event.
Yep. Yes. And typically we have about 10 countries: Austria, Finland, Norway, Sweden, Switzerland, Poland, Kazakhstan, Turkey, Czech Republic. So they'll come from all over the world. And what's interesting is, because this is an Olympic year, our tournament, if you're not an Olympic jumper, the jumpers will want to come here because it's the only event going on in the world, and these jumpers are in what's called the Continental Cup, and they get points. So this will be usually in a non-Olympic year. There's also a jump going on somewhere in Europe.
Oh yes. Yeah.
So they, if they don't have to travel, it costs a lot of money, it's time and that sort of thing. They necessarily won't travel. And I looked back in 2010, the last Winter Olympics. The gold medal jumper actually jumped farther, but the silver and the bronze medal jumpers at Pine Mountain jumped farther than the silver and bronze medal jumpers in the Olympics.
Wow, something else. Well, of course, your event's coming up on this next weekend, the 7th through the 9th. Yep. In about a minute, tell us about the activities and where people should be at what time. Well,
actually this year, because it's the 75th, typically Friday is a practice day, but this year Friday will be a competition day. So typically the events, they'll do a practice jump at 11, and then they do 2 competition jumps, and they start at 1. The only thing that really will determine or change the schedule is wind, obviously, because it can be dangerous. But
sure,
that's the schedule they hold to. Typically, if maybe one day gets canceled because of wind, they'll do an extra competition the next day. So they might jump 4 times on Sunday or 4 times on Saturday, something like that. So if you're there all 3 days, it's great. And it's also touted as, the biggest tailgate party in February.
I bet.
It can be cold. It can be all kinds of things, but there's thousands of people out there with shelters, burn barrels, grills, and all kinds of things to keep you warm.
I bet. What does that cost to attend, Chris?
It's if you want to order your buttons early, it's $20 in advance, and they can be mail ordered. Otherwise, it's $25 at the gate. And if you think about a 3-day competition for $25 all day long, basically if you get there around 10-ish, goes till 4 or 5, that's not that expensive. Especially nowadays.
And there are plenty of hotels in the Iron Mountain area. It's a long drive, of course, from people coming from, let's say, southeast Michigan or southern Lower Peninsula, but well worth it. That whole area, I just think, is incredibly beautiful. You're going to love it. The Iron Mountain area, kind of the far west UP, and I can't think of a better time than to enjoy it in wintertime than this coming weekend. The Pine Mountain Continental Cup Ski Jumping Tournament coming up February 7th through the 9th. And for more information, just go to this website, ironmountain.org, and then look for the link to the ski club information. Chris, thank you so much. Chris Levine, Executive Director of the Dickinson County Tourism Association. And again, that website is ironmountain.org. That is going to be a great event. Speaking of events, we have events, of course, year-round all throughout Michigan, every corner of the state, including staying up there in that kind of western UP area. The big Winter Carnival starts Wednesday, goes through Saturday in Houghton at Michigan Tech University. They always have a good time where the students carve larger-than-life sculptures from mountains of snow, among other things. So consider the Winter Carnival starting Wednesday, going through Saturday up there at Michigan Tech. Over in the Detroit area, an event of a totally different kind. The Detroit Camper and RV Show starts Wednesday, goes through Sunday at the Suburban Collection Showplace in Novi. The Michigan International Auto Show is in Grand Rapids. It starts Thursday, goes through Sunday as well at DeVos Place. And especially if you weren't able to get to the auto show, the International Auto Show in Detroit, check out the Michigan International Auto Show in Grand Rapids. That'll be a good time starting on Thursday. And we told you about this last week, but the Michigan Pond Hockey Classic is also happening in addition to the St. Ignace area. They have it over there in Whitmore Lake as well. That's starting on Friday and going through Sunday. So pond hockey, basically all throughout Michigan, becoming very popular. And then the last one we have time to tell you about, it is the West Michigan Youth Winter Sports Fest. This is happening in Muskegon. Basically all throughout Muskegon. Starts Friday, goes through Sunday. The Muskegon Winter Sports Complex is a great place for these events, and that's where most of those activities are happening. Speaking of West Michigan, we're going to find out what's happening in the Grand Rapids area next at wintertime. Next, right here on Travel Michigan, where your trip begins at Michigan.org.